Everyone's different, and that's okay. That's the lesson in a new children's book from a 6'5" author and comedian who gives her elevated viewpoint to elevate kids. The book is called A Head Above the Rest, and Krista Kay is here to talk about it. Krista, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I love this because I've been reading a lot of kids' books lately, and I'm like kind of a kid book connoisseur now.
Perfect.
Let's talk about the inspiration behind the book.
Sure. So I was literally always a head above the rest because I'm 6'5", but I have been a head taller than everyone that I've known ever since kindergarten. So
wow.
So I definitely got made fun of. Grew up in a small town in South Dakota, so I didn't even know other tall people existed.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So I was definitely a target, and that's kind of the inspiration behind it.
Typically, if there's one little thing that's different about you, having been the different kid before, they will just latch on. And if they see it affects you, which I'm sure it affected you,
of course,
and it affected me when I was getting bullied, that is what sets them off, and they love it. So the book, the whole idea of the book is to let you know, hey, if you're different,
absolutely,
who cares?
Yeah. And mine is like super obvious, you know, but it's also a message to kids that are maybe just feeling different, you know, and not physically. And so all the different characters in the book end up disclosing their own insecurities, which we all have, and we're all different.
I'm curious, you are a comedian as chosen profession now.
Yes.
Some people say comedians have that darkness in their past. I'm assuming that like comedy must have been like your deflection mechanism.
It's totally a coping method. Like I like to say, you know, it was a coping method, now it's a career. So it's, but honestly, I wouldn't call it too dark. I think I just developed the comedic lens just through being so different.
But comedy's like kind of like an exoskeleton. So
it really
you kind of get
is.
it enough and you're like, you know what? Boom, I can razz it back. Exactly.
And
which is good.
Yeah, and you can probably imagine that I get a ton of people every day, like, how tall are you? Did you play basketball?
How's the weather up there? Yeah, exactly. All that stupid stuff. Yeah,
all
that's
that.
ridiculous.
So
you actually came from South Dakota.
I did.
Here to Vegas. You came here because of a TLC show, right?
Yes, My Giant Life on TLC, and I was actually the shortest one on the show.
That's
so I don't know.
Now, did they call you Shorty on the show?
Know.
That would have been great.
Well, it's actually funny because I'm 6'5", but they the requirement was 6'6", so it's technically too short, and I've never been too short for anything.
You
so
put lifts in your shoes.
I know,
and
exactly.
That's crazy. So you decided to stay here in Vegas, and you're enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I love it. And actually, comedy kind of found me because they wanted to follow my process into getting into comedy for the TV show.
Of course.
I entered the comedy scene with a TV credit, which is unheard of. So
which is great.
Very blessed. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Oh man, your experience on the show was positive now, and that's kind of been able to give you a little bit of a spotlight and a little bit of a platform to show this book off. Now, how do we get this book?
So the book is available on Amazon, Walmart.com, and Barnes & Noble. Comes in hardcover, which I recommend. There's
the kids can get a little
handsy.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the soft cover kind of feels like a coloring book. So and then there's also Amazon Kindle. So it's an ebook.
Very
available.
nice.
So.
I'm assuming the giraffe would be your spirit animal. I gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Fair enough.
Good job.
So is it all from the viewpoint of the giraffe?
So it starts out, the giraffe is kind of getting made fun of, and then she tries comedy. One thing that I used to do was just illustrated in this is pretend to hit my head on an exit sign. Because it was like, well, if people laugh, then maybe, you know, it'll make them like me, you know. And then, so basically get some life lessons from this butterfly that swoops in.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's like, you know, however anyone's treating you, that's a reflection of who they are, has nothing to do with who you are. And so it kind of takes that information back to the other kids at school. And it's like, well, if you're making fun of me, you can't be very happy with yourself. So why don't you tell me what's wrong with you? Because again, bullies have their own insecurities as well.
Yes.
So
yes, you find that out after your 10-year reunion in high school. You realize, it was worse than I thought. Yeah, exactly. It's great.
No, I know. That's exactly. So the idea is to teach kids that at a younger age, which kind of puts a shield up against bullying. So people are getting bullied. You can recognize earlier, like, this isn't about me. This is you. You know.
Exactly.
And then the other animals throughout the whole book disclose their own insecurities.
Love it.
So
everyone has them. And by the way, I would not pick a fight with a giraffe.
Yeah, don't do that.
YouTube giraffe fights. Their neck will it's just not good. Where do you perform? We'll see your comedy.
So I kind of perform all over the place. Recently at Jimmy Kimmel's.
Nice.
So it's getting exciting. The best way to find out where I'm at is probably just my social media, which is Krista Kay Comedy.
Awesome.
So Yeah.
It's great to have you. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much.
It's a new children's book, Ahead Above the Rest. You can get it on the Barnes & Noble, the Walmart, the Amazon. You can get it on the Kindle as well. And if you want more on Krista Kay, visit her website. You can also follow her on social as well. Still.